Okay, this is building the Airfix Space Shuttle. It's an old kit, and I would consider it a classic kit now, considering it was moulded in 1978. So you need to take that into consideration when you build this kit, because it does take a little bit of, well, quite a lot of patience and practice and effort to put this thing together. It's not a beginner's model by any means. I mean, you could build it straight out of the box and stuff, but it would look a little bit rough if you didn't do anything to it. If you just glued it together, it'd look terrible. So the first stages that you need to do with this is get the booster rockets together and the main fuel assembly. Just glue them all together. There's not a right lot of components to the kit, but they're quite large. They're quite large lumps of plastic. So get them glued together and try and get the seams as tight and neat as you can, but they will need sanding regardless anyway, just to make them tidy and neat. So you end up with this tube uh, with another piece of tubing to fit onto that piece, and then you've got the nose cone itself. It's all the same colour, but when you get it all assembled, that nose cone needs cleaning up, as does that piece as well. It all needs cleaning up, everything needs sanding and cleaning up. That's this actual bracket to fit onto the rocket to fasten it to a stand. Right, so basically get all three components and glue them all together. The plastic itself is quite soft, so it has quite a lot of flex in it, and it's quite, I don't know how to describe the plastic. It's quite different to the newer kits, so it's okay to use, but I glued that together with super glue just to give it a bit of extra strength. Now what I've done here, I've base coated the whole thing in black first. The real fuel cells are made of, well, they're made of metal obviously, but the outside of them is covered in like an expanded foam material to insulate them. The early space shuttles were actually painted white. This fuel cell was painted white, but they decided basically it was pointless painting it white. It didn't achieve anything, just added weight. So they left them bare foam, and the colour does tend to vary quite a lot when you look at reference photographs. So you can't, well, you can get it wrong, but just experiment with colour. And what I'm doing, I'm just laying the paint down in a mottled sort of style, just to try and simulate a bit of foam. It's a big thing to paint as well, so you use a lot of paint as well. It's totally different to building a model aeroplane as this, because it's so big. Right, okay, once it's painted, I give it a coat of a gloss varnish actually, because there are three decals that you have to fit around that centre section that simulate some sort of ribbing effect. Don't even think about trying to fit them all at once, just do one at a time. They fit okay. The decals in this kit are very, very good. It's what makes the kit actually, because all of the detail comes from the decals. There's no detail in the actual plastic itself really, especially after you've sanded it to death. So the decals are important. And once they've been fitted, I've given it a matte coat actually, and it kind of looks rather effective once it's been matte coated afterwards. At the back end there, that's where all the mounting structure is, where the actual space shuttle fits to it. So these are all the parts that you need to kind of get them off the sprues. They look very gnarly on the sprue, they look terrible, but underneath all the flash and the gnarly bits of plastic, they do clean up very well actually. So it's better to kind of, it's important that this part of the structure is quite strong, because as I say, the space shuttle itself is attached to this, as are the booster rockets. Don't even think about painting them first and then gluing them onto the fuel cell. It won't work. So what I'm doing, I'm dry fitting the base of the space shuttle onto that after I've painted all the parts. I painted them first, then did glue it on, but you've got to make sure that it fits first before you paint it. There's some tiny little brackets on the side that need to be lined up with the space shuttle and the booster rockets as well. Now we're moving on to the Space Shuttle itself. Now there's an internal part, that's that part there. You can't display it really because the actual doors that fit onto the Space Shuttle itself have got no way of being. There's no hinging mechanism, there's no tabs to locate the doors open or anything like that. So if you wanted to display that, you'd have to kind of work out how to get the doors to do that. I didn't even bother trying. But you do need to fit it because it adds quite a lot of integral strength to the actual structure, if you like. And when you fit in the windscreen, it shows fitting the windscreen parts on after you've glued the fuselage halves together. You can't get them in if you do that, and you won't get them in at all because they're chamfered on the inside. So you've got to fit them from the inside. Now in the video it shows me the painting them black, but you can't. They don't fit very well. So you know what you need to do. You need to fit those pieces of clear plastic, but they get painted black anyway, and with a decal over the top, so they don't need to be clear. So you can paint them black if you want and use them as a screen. But I think the original kit from 1978 was aimed at doing that. But what they've done, Airfix have now included some fantastic cartograph decals, which totally changed the outlook of this model. So don't bother painting anything black in there like I've done this video. But if you don't fit them first, you'll have a hell of a job getting them to fit. Right, as I've said, don't bother painting in there black, it's pointless. There's also a piece of glass at the top, on the top of the cabin. Again, don't bother, just fit all that piece of clear plastic's doing is filling the hole up basically. But it needs more work doing on that, it needs filling up anyway. And what I did, I simulated those with paint. Because it's two round cabin holes, it's not one piece anyway. So I get it all joined together and tape it all up, and again I glued it together with super glue. And then this piece is it's just the back of the Space Shuttle where the engines stick out the back. So you glue that on as well. Then you can fit the bottom of the wing. It has undercarriage in it and everything, but you can't display it. You could have the undercarriage down, I suppose, but you couldn't fit it to the booster rocket. I don't know how you display the model. It'd look a bit weird. So I didn't bother doing this. I just built it as if it's in flight or attached to the booster rocket and the main fuel tank. So again, these doors, just fit them in, and they need filling when you've fitted them. They fit quite well actually. So we fit in that's where some of the engine nacelles stick out. They need gluing onto the fuselage as well. And I fitted the cargo bay doors. As I say, you could have them open, but I don't know how you'd get them to fit. I've used quite a lot of UV resin on this as filler. It works quite nice actually. It sands very well. I did that around the canopy and the top windscreen area. And quite a lot, any gap I could find I used UV resin to fill them. So once you've got it basically built as a structure, just sand it to death and make it look as neat and tidy as you can, and then I primed it in grey just to see what errors and bits were left over. Right at this stage I painted it with lacquer based, I think it's LP2, I'm not sure. It's basically gloss Tamiya white lacquer paint. Fantastic stuff for this job. It has the properties of it are fantastic. It dries very glossy, and it does fill in slight errors and scratches and things like that. And it's a really good base for putting decals on, which is what we need to do now. I didn't paint the bottom of it yet. There are quite a lot of interesting demarcation lines that you have to follow because it has the leading edges are grey. At that point I'm pointing at the canopy area. Initially I painted the canopies like a dark grey, and then put the decal over the top. And I also picked out the top windscreens the same in dark grey. I later changed it to black. Right at this stage I've added some of the decals. On the leading edges, basically that area's got a grey area. I don't know what that grey is. I think it's some sort of, it's not heat shielding, but And you have to add the decals at the nose just to kind of tell you where the black parts go, and then you put another white decal over the top of it. It's quite clever the way they've done that, actually. And then you have to mask it off to create the black parts. It's quite a difficult thing to do. It's not difficult, it's just time consuming. You have to plan ahead a little bit. And I've put the black lines on the wing to actually define where the grey areas are. So to stop them lifting off with masking tape, I had to lacquer over those twice just to make sure that the tape wouldn't pull that off. Same with the nose. So there's a lot of lacquered paint on this model, a lot. Which was good because it gave it a very nice finish actually. I didn't paint the bottom until last. Started adding more decals and it's starting to really come alive now. Decals are fantastic, and you get different models, you get different kinds of, there's Columbia, Atlantis, all the different kinds. And I've painted the bottom in black now. Took a lot of work to get to this stage, a lot of work. I didn't actually change the colour of it, it could have been matte on the bottom. But once it's mounted to the actual booster, you can't see it, or to the main fuel tank, you can't see that much. And we need to add the rockets, or the rocket motors, to the back of the Space Shuttle now. So that's basically that part done. I'm just test fitting it onto the actual fuel tank. I drilled those holes out bigger actually so that it did fit it through that pipe work. So it slots on there quite well, and there's a mounting peg at the front, but I didn't mount that just yet because it's quite fragile. No, I'm very happy with it at that point. I dry fit everything though, make sure everything lines up. Right, moving on to the booster rockets now. This kit is like 3 kits in itself. You've got the main fuel tank, you've got the space shuttle, and then you've got the booster rockets. So you kind of treat them as 3 different sets of models, really. There's nothing to these booster rockets. They're just basically 2 pieces of plastic each that you glue together. There's not a right lot to it, really. But yeah, I've got to, as I said, because they're in 2 halves, you've got to join them together and clean up the seam lines as best you can. Again, I did a lot of priming work afterwards when I'd done this. And there's like a mounting peg halfway down on one of them. And then these interface with the little brackets that were on the fuel tank before. That's like a cone at the back, and that's the actual rocket motor at the back. It all fits quite well, does actually. Again, what I did with this, these are little mounting brackets. It's important to get those accurate because they do actually interface with the rest of the mounting structure as well. You've got little boosters, little directional rockets that go on the back as well. So it's like a collar that goes round. But while the glue was still dry, still kind of soft on that, I aligned them with the structure on the actual tank so that they're lined up properly before it went hard. Again, don't even think about trying to fit those afterwards, it won't work. It may work, but I wouldn't dream of doing that. I think you'd struggle. Because the only contact point for that structure is those 2 tiny pieces of plastic at the back and the peg at the front. So what I've done before I started doing anything is dry fit those and make sure they fit and are secure. You could glue it at the front as well if you wanted to. Now I was happy that they fit okay. I primed them in grey. To be fair, I wouldn't prime anything in grey. I prime it in white because it's just easier. You use a lot less gloss paint to cover them. They're difficult to hold actually, these, because nothing fits down the back of them really without them flopping about and stuff. So I ended up having to hold them and paint them in 2 halves almost. But keep priming them and sanding them and just looking for imperfection if you like. And keep doing that until you're happy with it, and then give them a gloss coat. You need the gloss coat on there because there's quite a lot of decals to go on this, and then they've also got to mask As you can see, there's masking tape on there now, because all the little ridges around the middles don't have decals. You've got to paint them black, so you have to mask them all off, which is quite a time-consuming job actually. Right, there we go, that's all the masking done. There are one or two decals to fit on as well, some yellow stripes and some red ones and some little black squares. And you've got to make sure you get the orientation of the actual decals right as well. It's easy to follow on the instructions though. So you end up with a pair of those obviously. And then we have, now you've got your 3 components plus a stand that are ready to assemble. I painted the stand as well actually, I painted it black. It is a black plastic piece, but I've just, to give it a more even appearance, I painted it black and then satin coated it. And what I did with the actual final finish on the Space Shuttle body, I painted it with satin. It looks really smart in satin actually, but I left the booster rockets glossy I think. The stand itself glues onto the fuel cell, but it's a flat. It's got like a little hook in there, but it doesn't hook onto anything. So you need to actually make sure that that stand glues on well to that fuel cell. So I use super glue to glue that on there. And these are your rockets at the back. They're painted like a tan colour. I painted the actual rockets on the Space Shuttle black and then used pencil lead to give them a more metallic sort of sheen. And this is gluing natural booster rockets onto the fuel cell. Again, I use super glue for this. I use super glue quite a lot for this sort of task because you don't need to use as much of it and it doesn't kind of ooze out or melt the plastic. It bonds in a different way so it doesn't spoil the paintwork. As you can see, there's only 3 contact points for that whole thing. But if you do your prep work when you're building it, it works. It's faultless. It works. They fit great. That's basically it. A pair of those glued to that. So there we are. They're fitted. Comes together quite nicely when it's finished. And then we fitted the rocket. You can actually, you don't need to glue the rocket on there, the actual space shuttle on there. It'll sit on at that angle quite well, but I wanted to glue it on anyway just to make sure, because somebody could pick it up and it'd just fall off, of course. Anyway, it's difficult to show on camera because of its shape and size. But I was quite proud of it when it was finished. It was a difficult thing to build, I've got to say. It's challenging, but rewarding as well. And it looks very, it has a lot of presence when it's finished as well. It's because of its physical shape and size, I think. And it's smart with its contrasting colours in stark white and everything else. So there we go, some still pictures of the finished product. Really happy with that. My son now owns this. It's pride of place on a shelf at his house. So there we go. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Any questions, please put them in the comments. And I'll catch you on the next one.